Greetings, noble Helldivers. The Good Knight, SES Distributor of Freedom, here with another tier list for you guys. Today we're talking about throwables. Your grenades, your throwing knives, your oh no, get me out of this situation. So bottom line, up front. This is the list. There's not a whole lot to worry about. I know thermites and these are like everyone's top two right now, but they're not my top two. They're pretty good. They ain't my top two. And we're going to be talking about why here in just a second. So let's jump on over to the game. That's not the game. There we go. So starting off, we'll talk about the TED Dynamite. You got the little dial there. You got 5 seconds, 15 seconds, and 60-second timers. 60-second mostly being for meme rigging the extraction checkpoint. But it's dynamite, obviously from the Cowboy War Bonds. 700 damage and arguably the largest blast radius available of all their grenades. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you this thing has a very big boom. And with 5-second fuse, if you throw it, it'll tend to land and have about 2 seconds at max distance before it detonates, which will alert the enemies it's being thrown at, and they'll generally tend to scatter. However, you give that your little 2-second cook-off, and then throw it, and they'll see it, they'll be like, oh no, it's gone, erased from existence. Which is why I love the dynamite. It is so good. As the kids, cool folks back in like the 80s would be like, boom goes the dynamite. So let's be honest, it's my favorite. I love it. It's too good not to take. Let's see. So up next, your standard throwable C6 frag grenade. This is your Helldiver starting grenade. What's cool about it is instead of 4, which is your standard grenade count, you get 5. You get an extra one. It explodes, it throws out fragmentation, and with the more recent patches, it actually throws out more fragmentation than previously. The fragmentation does do decent damage. It's got medium armor pens. This will punch through some of your nastier enemies. And 500 damage, a little bit less, smaller blast radius, pops open your containers, your containers, blows open buckles, all that stuff. You get 5 of them. They're a bit round. They can roll back downhill at you, something the dynamite doesn't do as much. It's important to note this is box shaped, which can make it a bit trickier to throw into bulk fabricators. But if you throw it like uphill, it'll generally stop. If you throw this uphill, there's a very good chance it will roll back like a boomerang, but an explosive boomerang, the kind you don't want coming back. But yeah, pretty standard, straightforward design, pull, pin, and throw. And this spoon is for igniting the fuse, not for eating. It's not that kind of spoon. I feel the need to emphasize another ship's exploding in the background. I did that in my last video. Super destroyers are blowing up a lot when I'm making these videos while I look out the window. It's a little concerning. But yeah, throw a grenade, pull. Lots of cool detail scratches and stuff on it. Not that it matters in game, but for this model, it is beautiful. Anyway, standard frag grenade, A tier. Nothing to write. No, actually, I like the impacts a bit more. We'll talk about that here in a second. Up next, the high explosive grenade. I think you get 4 of these too. I think you get 4 of these, yeah. Yeah, I think you get 4. Heavy armor pen. Sounds pretty cool. 800 damage. That's a lot. You throw these at a heavy enemy, and they're supposed to kill it, but I've never had that luck. They seem to have a very small explosion. What is it? 2.4 seconds? Okay, this thing explodes pretty quick. This thing will generally airburst at max distance. This one's like gonna land, but every time I've thrown it at a tank or something, it's tended to bounce off and explode and do no damage. So maybe this, I'll be honest, over high damage over a small area, this might be worth doing some follow-on testing for. It's one of those grenades, you unlock it, like this is your second grenade. You're using these, you unlock this pretty early, you use this a bit in the hopes that it'll blow up tanks, but you're probably not skilled enough at this point. Maybe better to stick to the frags. But you toss one of these, it doesn't really kill anything. You keep using it because you don't want to be basic. Even though once you get high enough level, everyone starts going back to the Liberator, the frag grenades. They start challenge running themselves with a Peacemaker and Constitution. It's pretty peak. But yeah, this grenade, you use it up until about like level 8 or your first Warbond where you can lock a different grenade, and then never again. Which is why my memory of it is so far back that I don't even remember how it destroys tanks, because it's always bounced off. So, we've got this one down in B tier, but I will give this one more testing, because now I'm actually curious if it is like a sleeper hit. I had the same thing with the, whatchamacallit, the Judge Dredd pistol from the last video I did. Maybe it's better than I thought, and I'm just not good with it, although I've used that more recently than this. So yeah, we're just going to put that down here in B tier, and maybe in the future we'll upgrade it. Up next, in G10 Incendiary. Cool grenade. Set stuff on fire. White phosphorus, I think. So one of the key things I was thinking, that big old yellow spoon, or not spoon, pin, with the Impact Incendiary, and this is 300, this is 150, so surely having that 2.9 second fuse and the chance that it'll airburst and not damage anything, surely this has to have like a bigger blast radius or a longer burst. They're identical. I actually did testing on a stream. They're identical. There's no reason to take this over this unless you're struggling to throw this into fabricators and buckles. But it's not that hard when you really get good at the aim and you can just use these. Yeah, this is down in B tier because it's easily outclassed by its impact variant. And I will say no more. Up next, you got one of the newest grenades, the G31 Arc. This is what people were hoping the Urchin would do, but the Urchin didn't. It's a throwable device. This one actually throws out a zap and bounces. Throws out a zap and bounces. Dump a few of these behind a nasty wall full of voteless or bugs or bots. You can fill a bot base with these and they'll just zap everything. It's kind of fun. But you can't throw them in fabricators. They have no detonation force. And worse, they'll actually bounce back out of the fabricator at you and your team. Or if you happen to be close. Yeah, arc electricity, little warning down there. So these bounce around a lot. They zap things. They can be fun. They roll back downhill like the frag grenades. And yeah, you get like 4 or 5 zaps. Yeah, may bounce unpredictably. They can stun stuff, but they're a little erratic. I got them low B tier. Ran them a few times. They managed to bounce back and kill my teammate who didn't know it was bouncing around there because it had a pretty wild bounce. They can also get kicked around by the enemy back towards you. Not intentionally. It's not like early Call of Duty, World War II, kick back the grenade. It's like, it's there. It happens with the Pyrotex too. We'll get to that here in a minute. But yeah, it can get kicked back. Unpleasant. G16 Impact. This is your heavy armor penetrating grenade. Does less damage, but explodes on point. Does half as much damage. But if you throw this at a tank, it'll actually tend to do damage. Sometimes. Usually not enough to kill it unless you're willing to throw them all. But if you're new, this is one of the early grenades I know you get from the Warbond, so it's not bad. Lots of people run this just because it'll instantly get you into containers. You can blow up some of the nastier stuff. You can throw it, and there's no cook time. Just impacts and explodes. Pretty cool. It's A tier. I think I've used it a few times. It's not bad. Actually, I think I like the frag a bit more. Let's be honest. Yeah. So up next, G13 Incendiary Impact. Same as this one. Explodes on impact. If you need an immediate fire, this is your wizard casting fireball, but with a area of effect denial. Kills bugs very well, kills voteless very well, especially when combined with like the guard dog's breath. So they're both gassed and on fire and taking DOT at an insane rate until they get erased from existence. Cool, fantastic. S tier. If I'm not using this or the dynamite or gas, this is usually what I got. Up next, stun grenades. Some people really love these. They got a decent area of effect. They stun everything. Hulks that are always bopping around and moving, now they shut down. Pairs nice with the Senator. Double tap the eye hole before they regain mobility and all that stuff. Cool grenade. I used it a couple times, and then I just was like, okay, but It's not dynamite. Dynamite makes big boom. Big boom make Good Sir Knight happy. So, cool grenade. Don't use it often. It's B tier just because I don't really use it, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's not my playstyle, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. My buddy Myth is actually really, really good with these. So he would probably be upset I don't have an S tier, but it's my video, not his, so haha. Cool grenade. Up next, G4 gas grenade from the Chemical Agents Warbond. One of the most essential grenades when the Predator strain came out, between this and the Dog's Breath. This grenade puts out gas. It has enough destructive force to destroy fabricators and bug holes, but it leaves gas that sort of like sits around. People kind of were curious why the sterilizer doesn't leave gas around so that you can spray stuff down and leave, like the flamethrower, instead of just like, oh, you got mist on you, haha, get confused. Charging flesh mobs get distracted, they'll run off in a random direction. Bugs will just go blind and berserk and murder and fratricide their entire team. I cannot emphasize how good these grenades are. Again, you can hit bots with them. Bots are vulnerable to their caustic effects. Their sensors go down and they start shooting anything and everything, and they tend to infight and solve their problem Doom style, and it can be really funny because I think you still get credit for it. It'll flat out kill Voteless with a few seconds if they're not murdering each other. It'll distract Overseers and they won't be able to shoot you. Yeah, ooh, look at that. It's got a blue handle? I always thought it had a silver handle. It's been blue this whole time. I've never noticed it had a blue handle. I always looked at like the yellow and the cool design. No one pays attention. Blue handle. Pretty cool. Yeah, definitely easy S tier right behind Dynamite. I use it a lot. If I'm not taking Dynamite, it's because I have this, because I need to distract stuff. Up next, the Seeker Grenade from the Servants of Freedom. It floats around. It'll follow you. It'll chase down targets. It will either kill a single trooper, or it'll come back with like a 98 kill streak. For some reason, you just blow up everything. It has a limited battery. It follows you around for a bit. It can one-shot gunships on the bot front. If they're flying around, this will go chase one of them down and make it not your problem. Its main fault, its main weakness, is you can't throw it in fabricator holes or bug holes or illuminate ships. You have to basically pair this with a grenade pistol or explosive crossbow or some sort of like orbital stratagem or support weapon, or you just won't be able to blow those up. Still really cool. Grenade floats around. It has a mind of its own. Tends to kill the enemy, usually before they get to your teammate. Pretty cool. I got it in A tier because I don't use it too often, but when I do, it's usually with good results. Smoke grenade. Oh lord. So IRL smoke grenades are insanely based and fantastic, and they do all sorts of incredible stuff. Here you can throw this at a large, say, laser turret on a bot front or in front of a machine gun nest and try to reposition. And it's supposed to block their line of sight so you can move without getting killed, but it seems to put out so little smoke that that's not the case. And every time I've used this, the Eagle Smoke Strike and the Orbital Smoke Strike, it's never dropped off enough smoke, and I've always been just shot through it. Entire clouds, makes no difference. They just blast me through it. So I don't know if it's an issue with the engine or what. Smoke grenade, don't do it. It's down here in C tier. Not the lowest, but pretty close. I don't think it does enough to blow. I think it's explosive. I think you could take out fabricators and stuff with it, but in this game, it's always hard to say, and they could always nerf it out. Because after they took away the ability to get out of the ship with the warp pack, anti-fun. They gutted melee, anti-fun. Anyway, thermites. One of the democratic detonation grenades. They'll probably replace your other grenades immediately. Easy S tier. You throw it, and it generally 70% of the time sticks to your target. Hit a Bile Titan in the head, he's cooked in like 5 seconds. Hit a Charger in the head, he's cooked. Hit a Charger Behemoth in the head, he's cooked. Hit an Impaler while it's impaling and it's got its exposed head We're just hanging out there, cooked. Hit a fabricator from anywhere, cooked. Bulk fabricators, not so much. They got too much health. Sadly. Doesn't do that. I mean, you got 500 kg bombs for that problem. Yeah, burns at 2000 Celsius. You could cook a chicken very quickly at that temperature. Yeah, burning through some armor, and by some they mean bulk fabricators. I think you could get lucky and take out a what are they called? The factory strider with like 3 of these to the head. But you have to get close. Hopefully its shin guns are gone. And if its shin guns are gone, you can just fire a heavy machine gun or something into its belly. But super useful grenade. I got it way up on at the end of S tier because I tend to use these before it. Actually, I tend to use these before it. And yeah, pretty fantastic. The Urchin. The sole use I've been able to find for this is you can stick it to a flesh mob. And it'll like get stunned for a bit so you can gun it down from a distance. But it's hard to get to stick to the flesh mob. And yeah, I haven't tested it on a whole lot else because I was so underwhelmed I just never bothered to take it back out, which is a shame because it looks like a mace. I feel like you should be able to activate the spikes and just use this as an impromptu melee weapon, and then if you're in a pickle, stick it to something and run away. But as it is now, D tier, only because I didn't put an F. It's bad. It needs serious love to be viable. Anywhere above C tier. Just up closer to the smoke grenade, I'd be happy, man. I'd be happy. Just give me something, man. Something. It's such a cool concept. Wasted. Throwing knives. The non-explosive, not grenade weapon. You get 20. That's a lot of throwing knives. It gives you plenty of knives to practice. Easy refill. Got the cool semi 550 cord wrap going on. They're pretty big. 250 damage is nothing to laugh at. If you land a headshot on a voteless, it'll kill it. If you throw enough at an overseer, it'll eventually die, unless it bounces off the armor. It's got medium armor pen. You should be able to kill a lot of things with it. It's mostly for more stealth meme runs, but it's sadly not as good as it could be. I was running around trying to make them work one stream, and I got to the point where I would just land headshot after headshot to where it almost looked like these would be viable, but they got no detonation force. They're not taking out no bases or nothing. You might be able to sneak up and throw a bunch into like a charger butt and kill it, but you gotta get pretty lucky. Delivers silent justice of freedom's enemies. Conceptually very cool. Has the cool flip and the charge up for the throw. Has a lot of drop off. It's apparently a very heavy knife. I've got it in A tier. A lot of people will disagree, but even though it was wildly ineffective, I would be lying if I said I wasn't having a ton of fun doing it. So, even so, it's great. It's kind of a meme, but I love it. It's like the Super Earth flag. You're not supposed to use it, but I do, and I love it. It's great. Up next, the Pyrotech. You get 6, which is a lot. You can throw these, they'll start spinning, they'll set the ground on fire, they'll set things around them on fire. Pretty cool. The reason I can't have these very high in the S rank, even though they're great for blowing up bases and stuff, because you get so many of them, is because I cannot tell you how many times I've thrown one of these at a group of enemies, and as it was setting them on fire, some like charger or something was coming and it bumped it, and it came all the way back to my squad and set all of us on fire, and then exploded and killed someone. And then everyone was like, bro, what? And I was like, that probably wouldn't happen if it detonated on impact. Or if it was so square that they couldn't get a good kick on it. Just saying. So, Pyrotech's really good. Set the ground on fire. These can kill factory striders and all sorts of stuff with the insane amounts of fire damage they can do. As a firework, no less. Apparently, Super Earth knows how to party. Cool looking, spin around. Unfortunately, sometimes come back. Easy S tier. So that's the whole list. I hope that was insightful to some of you and kind of give you an idea what you want to take. Definitely get dynamite and gas. And if you're really early on in, your stock frags are fine. I gotta go do more testing on this high explosive one. I might go do that here in a second. Get back to you guys. But that's all I got for you now, everyone. Cheers. Stay chivalrous. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.